All right, so ladies and gentlemen, this looks to be where we left off last time. What I'm going to do is I'm going to delete this and I'm going to start from scratch so everybody is on the same page, because there are certain people that did not have their items saved or whatever. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead, select all this, and delete it off, and then we are going to go through and baby step the entire drawing. Sound good? Somebody be my timekeeper. We have about 5, 10, 15 minutes. Okay. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use the offset command. I am going to reference two measurements. Measurement. If we are talking pickle in the middle. All right. All three of you, zip it. We are looking at these numbers here, this 1.7845 and 1.625. I'm going to use my offset command. I'm going to type in 1.7845, enter, select my object, give it a direction, left click. Again, I'm screen recording this so you can always go back to it and look at it, okay? Next thing I am going to do is I'm going to repeat the command. There's a couple different ways I can repeat the command. I can either right click and go repeat command. I can hit the space bar, I can hit the enter key, or I can just simply go over and select the item. I'm going to type in a distance of 1.0625, enter, select my bottom border, draw it upwards. At this point, I am going to create the remaining parts to my object. So if I look here, I know my object is 6.25 units wide. How tall is my drawing? 4 units, okay? So I am going to go back to here. I just want to make sure OBS is actually recording, and it is. So I'm going to go into offset again. I'm going to type in 4, enter, select my line that we already offset inward one time. And then I'm going to go ahead and repeat the last command again, 6.25 this time. Offset my vertical line that I've already offset one time. Confirm that. From here, I believe I went into the trim command. So I'm going to show you guys a quick way to trim. Here's the long way. Select the item, select the item. Shorter way. Left click, hold, draw a line through the objects that you want to trim off. Right click, confirm. You can also hit the spacebar or the enter key to get yourself out of the command. Next thing I'm going to do is I am going to focus on this corner right here, where it is a 1 inch tall by a 0.75 notch that has been cut into the object. Again, what command do you think I'm going to use? Offset. I'm going to offset 1 unit because it's 1 unit tall. So I'm going to take my bottom object line, offset it upwards 1 unit. Right click, confirm. Right click, repeat the drawing, or repeat the last command for the drawing. This time I'm going to go 0.75 units long. Offset it inward. So now I have this object here. What command can I use next? What was that, Pickle? What command can I use? Trim. Okay, was that Rosa?
Yeah.
All right, thank you, Rosa. So I'm going to select the lines I want to get rid of. Right click, confirm. Now this is basically where we left off last time. Went too fast, that's okay. That's why we're recording it so you have a video of it. Next thing that we are going to work on. is going to be, let's take a look here. Let's take a look at this part right over here. Okay. You're going to notice a couple of pieces of information. Pickle, no wonder you're falling behind. You're talking to Inda all the time.
What?
I don't know. All right. So if you look over here, I want to show you guys a couple of things. First, you're going to notice that our notch is cut 1 inch tall. You're going to notice I have a reference that says that this point is 2 inches tall. But there is two problems. Problem number one, I have no information as to how tall this piece is here, and I have no information as to how tall this piece is right here. Sometimes this will happen, whether it be on my level, where I just simply forgot to put the dimension in there. This happens in textbooks. This happens in the real world. Dimensions get missed. What you sometimes have to do is go back and use some common sense to try to figure out what the answer is. So if I take a look here, I've got 2 inches, I've got 1 inch. So that's a 1 inch difference here. Let me ask you this question. Does this piece here look to be the same as this piece here? The answer is they look pretty darn close to each other. So my guess is going to be that since all these numbers are pretty much maybe a quarter of an inch off of each other, that these here are most likely going to be the same, just simply because there is no way that this and this are a quarter inch different from each other. So I would say this is 0.5 and that's 0.5. So I'm going to come in here. I'm going to use offset 1 inch. I'm going to go back in, offset ½ inch, offset a ½ inch again, so that I establish this point here. So let's go back and to offset 1, enter. Select my object, give the direction upwards. Confirm it. Repeat the last command. 0.5, enter. Select my object, give it a direction. Reselect that object we just offset. Give it a direction again. Right click, confirm it. Now at this point, you're going to look at your drawing and you're going to notice something. You see right here, this 1 inch line that we offset originally? Right here, see that 1 inch offset there? Notice how it lines up perfectly with our 1 inch offset we just created? We could have probably not trimmed this line originally and just left it for future use. But since you guys are just learning the program and you're just starting to figure things out, there's nothing wrong with us offsetting again to create a new line. Later on, you can always start analyzing your drawings and saying, hey, maybe I could use that later on in the drawing. Okay? If you never catch on to that, it is what it is. It's just an extra step. All right? So we're pretty good right now, right, Gavin?
No.
No? Gavin lost? Okay. So let me review. First, we offset a distance of 1.7845. Got this line. We offset this line up 1.0625. Got that line. I took this line here. I offset over 6.25 units. That got me my overall width. I offset this line upwards 4, I believe it was, to get this top line. I went through, trimmed all that up, made it all look nice and pretty. This corner right here was created by simply taking this line, this vertical line, offsetting over 0.75 units. and taking this vertical line, or excuse me, horizontal line down here and offsetting it 1 unit. Again, trimming it. Next thing I did was I took and offset this line 1 unit, half a unit, and then half a unit again. All caught up. So again, if I'm going too fast, I apologize, but like I said, there is the video on it that I will be posting for you guys. So next, let's take a look right here. Let's take a look at our drawing. See if we can get some more information. Do we see a line right here? Yeah? Okay. That line, if I follow it down, Gianni, what's my dimension for this line? That's the overall height of it, but what's the overall like offset distance? 4. I find that right here. So I'm going to be using this line, offsetting over 4 units. Offset 4, enter, select my line, go ahead, offset it. Go ahead, confirm once you're done. Next thing I'm going to do is I am just going to go into my trim command, get rid of information I do not need. So I got rid of all that information. Right click, confirm. Gavin's like, how in the world did he just trim all that stuff like nothing? Okay. You can either select each piece individually and trim it off. One thing that you can do in the web version that I just found out is that you can trim an object down to nothing. Okay. Now I mentioned this before that you can't do that all the way up until AutoCAD 2020, which is the most recent one that I've used. You could not trim an object down to nothing. Possibly now in 2022 you could. Yes, sir. Looks good from here. Yep. Thank you, sir. Next thing. I need to figure out where this top corner is because I know right now that this point is wrong. And the reason why I know it's wrong is because I offset 4 units over and I placed this here and I trimmed up to that. So I know that that's wrong. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and I'm going to look at my drawing and I'm going to notice that I have a unit that says 4.75 that I need to offset. Notice that this and this do not line up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this line here and I am going to simply delete it. I'm going to go into the line command, which is draw. Grab this endpoint here, draw straight across. Give it a distance of 4.75, enter. And then connect that down to my intersecting point just like that and hit confirm. Now, James is clapping me on because that was a different way of doing it. James, do you know another way that you could have created this point right here? No? Okay, I'll give you a hint. I could have taken and offset this line over 4.75, stretched this line to that point, and then drawn down. Okay? There is no wrong way to create the points. Okay? Once you have your drawing done, hit save. Go to layout. Do a zoom extent on the whole thing. And then what you're going to want to do is you're going to look at all of your text. You're going to want to make sure that your text all looks like it's the fancy text. In this case, I'm looking and I see that my date is not the fancy text. So I'm just going to open it up and then close it right back down and it should update it. Now, This is important if you did a screenshot. It's not so important if you're going to do the following. The following is I'm going to hit save, and then right next to save is the little printer icon. Hit print, and then it says plot the PDF. We're just going to go ahead and accept that. We are going to wait for the little green box to show up, which it does. I can now go download PDF. At this point, two things are going to happen. You are going to see the drawing show up in your downloads. The file name is going to be correct. Last name underscore first name underscore period underscore drawing number. You can then upload this to Schoology. You're going to notice that when the PDF generates, it's going to put after your title of your drawing, it's going to put the following information. It's going to say layout 1. I don't care. Just leave it. Okay? Upload it and call it done. But what I want you to do before you upload it is I want you to open it and I want you to verify that everything looks correct. Okay? In this case, everything looks correct. I can go ahead and submit that. If something doesn't look right, obviously go back to your drawing, fix it, and save it, and then resubmit it. Got it? All right, so tomorrow